The University of Houston downtown is a unique institution of higher learning, to say the least. It's located in one of the most diverse cities in the United States. UHD reflects that diversity with more than 70% of its students classified as Hispanic or Black, with degrees offered in more than 70 disciplines among undergraduate, master's, and online offerings. UHD's Vice President of Enrollment Management reflects that demographic. He's Dr. Daniel Villanueva, Jr. Good to see you this morning.
Thank you so much for having me on.
I love your story about potential being realized, and we'll talk about it in a second. But enrollment management, what is that all about?
It's a really fancy term to say it is a department, a unit, an organizational structure that is aligned to gearing the business processes of students who are interested to come into the university or a college, and help them throughout the entire process to matriculate into college, and not only into college, but succeed and ultimately graduate.
So based upon the diversity of your school, it sounds to me like it really is unique for your school to really kind of have a more embracing kind of folksy, get to know you kind of relationship with students before they come to school, so that it gives them a better chance to succeed.
We are 100% relational, and our work has to be relational. In our partnerships with our ISD, the community colleges, the two colleagues ahead of me on today's segment, those partnerships streamline our relationships directly to the students. We have to be relational, we have to engage, and most importantly, we have to look like the students that we serve.
I've talked about the fact that you represent the kind of students that they would be going after, because you're sitting here with a Ph.D., but you weren't exactly a star student in high school, correct?
I was not. I might have thought I was, but my grades didn't reflect that I was in actuality. And graduating in the lower third of my high school class was a challenge for me growing up as a first-generation college student with parents who did not graduate, low income in rural Texas. Wasn't the greatest start for me, but in visiting with my high school counselor when it came time to go to college, you know, she indicated that perhaps HVAC technician was more appropriate for me than college. And although, as I was joking with you prior, maybe that's the second part of my career, but in reality, I had a different trail.
So your trail included a lot of universities. You have a graphic of the universities that you went through. You look at it, you say, oh my goodness, there's 9 universities represented there, starting with Rockdale, was that the
high school,
to Blinn College. So throughout those trips, though, you found out that there was academic levels that you were deficient in, that you had to bone up on to get to the next level.
Many academic challenges that I had to overcome. And first and foremost, it's important that we understand that higher education in general, in its creation and its originality, was built for wealthy individuals, right? So by start, navigating this process, there were academic challenges at every level that I had to push forward. And there were people along the way that served in the role that I currently served who helped progress my career forward.
The process was very valuable, I'm sure. So how important is it for you, representing your life story, your life experience, to be in the position you're in today, for the students who come to UHD to be able to see you and know that they can also do this?
It is essential. It is essential that I take the work very seriously, very personal, and I see every one of our students when I'm looking at them as discussing their options into the university, their work at the university, culminating in graduation. I am there seeing myself every single day. It's the most rewarding job I have, but I also take the work very personal as a lived experience.
So at what point in this process that you've gone through did you actually see that you could be where you are right now?
I think it was going to the local community college and not being able to get into a four-year university and thinking that a local community college was probably beneath.
So you did not get in, and that's why you went to the community college?
Absolutely.
So that was one failure that turned into a success?
Huge success. End up working back at that community college, getting my start in higher education, not only as a student, but as a professional.
So that process, are you writing a book about this, by the way?
Not yet. If we can get a publisher today, I'd be ready to write it.
Okay, we'll do that, and I want the little percentage of the royalties. We're going to talk more about this whole process, because I know you have definitive opinions about how this whole pipeline gets to the universities. Sometimes they get these kids to university, they're not really prepared.
Right, and I was one of those students, but there are students who can defy the odds with the support of the organizations ahead of me that were discussed, universities, community colleges. We're all in this together.
Yeah, well, we're going to have you back in our final segment. You're going to be joined by Victoria and Patty to wrap up this segment on education, the conversation this morning. Hopefully you've enjoyed it.